Well, we have a bit of a problem here. Not too much. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 2 spaces left. This is probably not the best thing in the world to be holding right now. It's not horrible. Basically, it's twice this. So put it up here with the KK. But BN might be more valuable. Makes a little bit more per stock share. But the thing that we really want to do is we want to get an extra certificate. And the way we do that is we buy this presidency. But I probably shouldn't have this still, is all I'm thinking. I've been holding on to it and everything because, like, well, I don't really need it in the company. It's making me money in there. But it's coming to the point where actually having those is becoming more painful, which I think is a sign that those are really unlikely to get bought unless somebody has a must-use scenario for one. But we'll see. Yeah, I want to start the last of the companies, and it'll be up here, and it'll probably end up getting folded into the Prussian. We don't know. We don't really care. Right now, though, it's an opportunity to get an extra certificate in the game. So, you know, this is a 50% certificate. What does that mean? Well, that means that I am producing not 15 a share, not 30 a share, but 75 a share with that particular share. This one's a little less valuable. That one's only 38 a share. And maybe I shouldn't be holding it, you know. Whatever. Remember how this guy needed a company to bail out his BTE? There are no more. The majors, the state railways went here. Okay, that's expected and necessary. But the owner of the Saxon bought one. Wasn't thinking too hard about what to do if there are no more railways left. But yeah, he's up Schitt's Creek at this point. No permanent train. 2 companies with enough money that if one of them swallows, they can get to the permanent, and things are running out fast. So it's not just this guy who's going to hell. I was screwed anyway. And this has got more to do with the clutter maybe than anything else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 spaces left. That would have only allowed me to buy 40% of a corporation. I wasn't starting anything. I had nothing that I could sell. I mean, I could sell a BTE share, and I guess that's what would end up happening. Operations are started and ready to roll. A little bit of manipulation, a little bit of playing with the stocks, not manipulation, a little bit of playing with the stocks, getting portfolios best. Basically, this guy got rid of his BTE share that was excess, and has bought a couple of the majors. For whatever reason, he didn't buy a Saxon. I'm not sure why. It looks as good as the others. Maybe better than the Prussian. I don't know. This guy over here gave himself a bit of a problem. He needs to get these certificates out of his hand by the end of the set of operating rounds, in order to be able to buy more useful things. And the question is, well, which one of these corporations is going to be able to actually utilize it? I haven't been utilizing these, though, so like, I thought about doing one once. One of the biggest things is I haven't been using them to save myself a few bucks somewhere, because that just seems so valueless. But certainly you want to do that if you know you're going to exchange them for cash. That's one good thing the BTE has. It's sitting on, right now, 80 bucks towards a train there. That'll help. I could sell some of these cheaply. I don't know how much that really helps. I'm still feeding money in, but I might be able to control the amount of money I'm feeding in. And I certainly want to get rid of those. The question is, do I want to be able to get full value out of them? Well, the NWB is in no shape to pay for them. The BTE is in no shape to pay for them. Maybe selling them at a buck each isn't a bad deal. Stock values went up on a couple. The BN and the OFE. Everything else, people are in their own little worlds. Okay. I think we're going to hit a kind of interesting step in the game where, you know, a lot of new companies are coming out. Some of the trains are going to get shaken up. That's a heavier burden than it is in most games, in the sense, most of the XX games, in the sense that with these different train types, so many different types, so many different end steps and everything, you really have to kind of pay attention. So there is possibility, of course, of more error happening because of that. I paid out the operating round, the privates. Those have been another burden for me to remember to use reasonably. You know, there have been people who have gotten into a bad position because they're holding privates late in the game. And usually, by the time certificate limits are coming up, people are losing their privates in an XX game just automatically. And you've got this kind of, you got this weight over your head. Do I get rid of the private or not? Here, it's still making you money on the stock value, not a whole lot. It's still making you its payout, not a whole lot. But for the larger ones, they're not unreasonable to be still holding. And you don't know which company is going to need their advantage. I suspect that I've got kind of an atypical play happening here. I think that especially, maybe because I'm playing with 5, and we'd probably see something, you know, even more drastic with 6, but where I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Yeah, so I kind of expected one of each company type to fall into each player's hands, more or less, and that's not really happening, which to me is a sign that 6 players is just as good as 5. The real question comes down to, hey, are you able to control your fate better and able to do the kind of guarantee the kind of transition we're talking about here in 4 players. I'm not going to talk about 3. We have that here, but I don't think that's that big a deal. One thing, 210, yeah, that still gives you enough money to buy some privates and start a company, so I wouldn't worry too much about the 6-player situation. There was something I wanted to talk about more than about the game. I don't remember what it was. Like, but I guess I'll just keep going. Like, it was adjacent to the game, yeah, but it wasn't directly. It was maybe about my willingness to play or something. I don't know. Looking at the valuation on the Prussian, I just make a run, $380. Not huge. It's going to get bigger. This doesn't go away until the 6E, which doesn't seem to exist. Okay, what's up with that? Route. Eyes I thought didn't exist and I found them. Yeah, so the 6E, which is sitting behind 2 4 trains. What's getting bought this turn, first of all? Because I think I do want to swallow right now. But it's not pleasant because I think it means I need 2 swallows. Although I do have this. That's an extra $80 right now. A swallow right now would get me $380. 300, 450, call it 550. Which is not enough to buy the first permanent train. And they just start getting, you know, a little more expensive as you go. Wow. If I don't swallow now, will I be able to get to that permanent train? I don't know. But it looks to me like a lot of choo-choos are going to fall at once. And I may be only running one train for my next run. Because we got the possibility of, we got two more big companies going and a smaller company. I think that's going to get us up into here, which means the 5E is going to come out. That's not going to kill me, and I don't think it's going to kill anything else. The 5 is already out and accounted for. We have gotten rid of whatever that kills, which is the 3s, the red 3s. And is the 5 plus 5 going to kill anything? That kills the 3 plus 3s. Let me see if I have any. We have one there. That's the death that's waiting here in the wings. So we were talking about there are already 3 trains coming. Make that 4, make that 5. So things are going to fall pretty fast. I think I need to swallow. And I sort of alluded to this before. So like the OFE here, it's got a permanent train. I got good shares for it. It's making decent money. Everything looks kind of good for it. Granted, a dot maybe could hurt me if someone dropped one somewhere. Right now I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't see how. It's conceivable that I might want to get somewhere that's even better. But yeah, right now it looks pretty sweet. And what that means is that there's very little reason for me to get rid of this. On top of that, the fact that its train doesn't turn into a permanent train. I could add some more dots to the PR. They're not terribly valuable to it. I would be watering, even if I moved the train and the dots, like even if the train could run on the PR, it still would be an overall loss if not for certificate limits. The advantage of pumping the PR up more and getting rid of these couple of certificates that I'm using and invest that money in something else, that would probably balance things out in the favor of getting rid of it. But there is no reason to throw this in right now. It would not add to the PR. All it would do is allow me to basically take money out of the PR and give it to my pocket at 150% of stock price, which is a cool bonus. It is a way of damaging a corporation, for your own profit, but it doesn't look very appealing. And likewise, I think we're going to end up with the same thing with the ATE here. So I don't think that's going to want to buy it. I could just buy that right away, make myself piles of money. But the PR, well, actually, it's got piles of money on it. That might not be. I don't know if I can do it before it's laid its first token, but yeah, if I don't think there's a prohibition against it. I could immediately make 50% of the value I put into this. Of course, that gets rid of some certificates here where I don't need them. I might as well make a little bit of money off them and then see what the situation turns out to. But there is an immediate capacity to just turn those things into cash back in this era, which I didn't really see. Why it's not so terrible? I mean, let's look at this. I have only 3 certificates there. I would be paying $450 and getting $500 worth of cash from it. That's something to think about here. And a token, because I get a free token and some track that I get to it. But there's a nice turnaround. There really is. Do I want to help the Prussian that way, or are these certificates in this company worth something? I don't know. But it all depends on what train I'm forced to buy. But if I do it now, I'm not forced to buy the train, and I think I am allowed to do it now. I had a little optimization problem to solve. With 2 trains, it made more sense to run one here, and I had this on the wrong type of track, the wrong side for whatever reason. I wonder, yeah, I got another one there, the other UU. Yeah, for some reason the UUs, I put the wrong type of, I don't know why. because they're hard to think about. I may find the same problem with Brown Track when I upgrade. But yeah, it made more sense to connect up to here and run one train here and one train down here than to link this up and run two out of the Saxon headquarters. But very shortly, there is going to be an appeal to doing this. Now, I did a swallow, and I think that that swallow actually means I want to spend this $100 and get the last token here. I have only two corporations, one of which is down here. The other one's way back here and may not be terribly useful. I may be using some of the money from the UG for this, but I want to do the swallow anyway. I want to have more cash on hand. But I don't know. This might have ended up being a really good feeder. Each of these corporations, though, gets such an advantage out of running two trains by being able to get this, you know, right now 90 spot and at some point 100 spot available. There's nothing that valuable on the board, and to run two trains out of that, that's the maximum you can do. That's fantastic. Be a B, I'm not quite sure what I like here. I just swallowed. It gives me not enough money to put a dot, which is a shame because I'd love to have a dot right here, actually. To give me access to these boinkers and basically be running a 1, 2, 3, 4, and that might actually improve to hitting here instead or whatever, but whatever. Not going to happen. I have 450 bucks. This train costs 500. It would require another swallow or giving me something that produces lots of money. If I don't swallow and buy, I had to swallow, but if I don't buy the train now, it's going to be gone, the $400 4+4. So I think I have to buy it. And that does, you know, that accelerates when this is going to go, but I just don't see a way around it. BY kicks things off fast, buying two trains for $1,050. Setting this up. Why do I pick the dot here? It's not the optimal dot. I'd love to have the dot coming out of Prague, but I absolutely need to control access through here. I can run two trains through this in different directions. I think it's the best I can do. If I absolutely need more dots, I can buy the BN out. And that'll get me the world over here. I don't have a whole hell of a lot of cash right now, though. I'd have to swallow to do that. Is that a good move, a bad move? I don't know right now. Right now, the BN's running pretty nice, to tell you the truth. But it might be worth buying out to make the BY more powerful and give myself a premium on a swallow from the BY. But I don't know. You know, there's all these weird kind of decisions in this game. It is definitely a different flavor from most of the XXs I see. I could have tilted to face here, but that would require my using up a token, one of my privates, capabilities. That would actually speed up my access and maybe make sense. The problem with the speeding up access, let's see. Are they all special Ks? No, there's an X. X doesn't do it. What I really need is a bird foot. There is a bird foot. What I really need is a special is a 5-way thing. That's what I really need, and that's kind of the problem here. I'm gonna say the hell with it and work multiple tracks there. While that's not present, I'll still be able to make some money. It's just not as much, and maybe by the time I have that set up, I'll be down to just one train anyway. And screw it, man. Is a much less appealing company. kind of looks like one of those, geez, did I really want to start this? It's not horrible. I've got a path forward. I could only buy one train because the prices didn't, you know, the BY beat me out in terms of getting stuff. Maybe some kind of manipulation would have made sense. But, and I'm not sure it's legal anyway, so. I'll be shooting up into here. And I have a token. I'm not sure I want to use it here. I may want to use it up here. And then I've got a second possible route heading up this way. Another option would have been to run right into here. That makes me decent money to begin with, but actually it's not that big a deal. I think I make more money by running into this little bit of open here, so screw it. It's there. But everything's kind of tokened up there. I don't have any control over it. I can't. I mean, I guess I could offer a premium for somebody's stock, maybe buy the KFN or something out. But yeah, there's nothing that really works with me, and I'm not near here. I honestly don't know. It may be that the best move is to try to get this dot instead. I only have one dot available. These big corporations don't have anything unless you feed them stuff. Okay, hard brakes time. KK is running here. I can get to 40 a share by setting this up, which is my first and maybe my last. Hit this twice, the Veden space. I get a little bit of a boost out of that. Up to 40. I was around 36 before, so you know I'm hitting a less valuable city. I think what's happening is I'm not hitting this twice because I'm running the 3 down through here and the 4 up this way. I don't have a whole hell of a lot of room. That 4E, oh, nothing's permanent. Oh, I'm just fucked. Okay, so my next train is 800 bucks. A 400 run gets me to 760. Crap. What's gonna sell? So I know, or almost know, that this is going to buy a 5+5. When that 5+5 goes, this has to buy a 5+5. So I am going to have to come up with $1,000, and I'm going to be sitting there just with a 4E. I need to swallow here. I need this cash. But can I juggle more money into my hands? Well, I could steal this permanent train and get another non-permanent train and maybe get another swallow off of that. But that's going to cost me a lot of money, right? That's going to cost me at least $40 a share for 5 shares, at least $200 to do. So that doesn't sound very appealing. I can buy some of these real cheap. Sorry, not these. I could buy this. Oh, this poor fella. I could buy this real cheap. That's worth another 20 bucks at the beginning of the next round. But here's the problem. That's worth 20 bucks. That would be enough to have gotten me over the hump if I knew what I was doing properly. I would be at 350, 360, 760, 780. No, I would miss anyway. Even if I bought that for a buck, I would still miss this. So that's not going to get me. Oh, but if I bought that and turned it in, hold on. I think we got the train. I forgot that I can sell that thing. Okay, so I swallow. For $400. Now I have 760. This is worth 80 bucks. I only need to come up with 800. That's 840. I can spend $35 on buying this. If I screwed up, I'll have to fix things. But this is 31. That means I am at positive $4. Okay. How about that? Okay. So now the debt is cleared. I have this. I can sell this for 80. Is there anything that I wanted to do with this? I needed to lay this piece of track. So there's nothing I can do, but I need to sell this for the 80 bucks that it's worth. $800 buys me. Okay, this is getting crazy. The first of the I trains, a 6E. That, I have room for it, right? I have room for 3 trains still on the big companies all the way until the 8E. The 6E kills all the 3Es. Doesn't kill anything else yet. But I'm going to have to hunt down those 3Es. They're all gone. Didn't necessarily get the runs I wanted to off of them. And I think that's it for this company. But we may be causing other people some pain at this point. Notably, the 80s are going to come out. They're going to crush the 4Es. Oh, the Prussian. Oh, the Saxon. Uh-oh. Ugliness. The ATE has to lay this track. And not necessarily that one, but it has to lay a new. It doesn't get a double lay, anything like that, which would have been helpful. So we flip over. Interesting. Okay. We still have to buy a train. I don't believe there's any kind of if you have a route rule. Let me look up to make sure, because it's a big deal. Okay. Remember, I could buy this for what was it, $450? I think. Give myself a lot of cash. It's going to be a little less than that, but because I went back in price, and get myself $500 of cash that the Prussian desperately needs, right? So I make a few bucks off of it. Great. But if I have to buy a train, I have to buy this 5+5. I could buy this company. It's sitting on a 3+3. 3+3s are, I think, dead. Yeah, they're dead, right? The 5+5 has come out already. Okay. I don't think the 5+5 has come out yet. So I could still buy this, convert to a 3+3, which reduces the value, or leave it at the 250 that it's at. I don't know what that does for me. No, that doesn't give me a train. Yeah, I could convert to this, which would be a free conversion because it's going back in ground. I would have to pay for these shares. And then I'd temporarily have a train. What would that do for me? That would buy me enough time that the Prussian could absorb them both. Oh, good God. Let's see if I have to buy a train. I think I do. The problem is, if I do buy the train, this is what I was trying to say. I pay $500. That's all my money for the 5+5. That's a permanent train. That's great. This thing can run. But I'm looking to try to save the Prussian, which is in a little bit of trouble here. I only have $500. I need to come up with another $500. Now, my run is not going to be a 50 run. It was a 38, and I lost a train. But whatever. So $500 here would allow me to buy this. If I wanted to exchange that for this, it would cost me $300 from the Prussian. And this may be workable because this is a permanent train at least. So how much would the shares of this go for? $90 each. Remember, I have this that I can burn. $90 and I have another one that I could make more money off of, right? So there are ways to slip money to your companies that are kind of weird in this one. 90 bucks, I could go to 135. I don't think anybody else has this shit. 135 times 3 is 390, somewhere around 400. I could pay myself 400 for these shares. And I still make money. So let's see. Then I would need to come up with 700. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have that. But I could probably short myself. Let's say I paid 100 a share. That would be 300, and 300 is 600. I could probably come close, especially with a swallow. Is that worth it? I don't know. But if I don't have to buy a train, I just get gravy out of this. I do indeed have to buy a train. I don't want to hurt myself by picking up the OFE. I mean, it might look nice in the Prussian in some way, shape, or form, but any money I spend on it, on those shares, to give myself some of the share value that I have already accumulated back, is just going to come out of the totals that I have for the train. And I think I have a way of making that train work there. But it does mean the ATE is going to fall into the Prussian. Hey, it means I get more tokens on the Prussian. Hey, I'm probably not going to swallow again. First 5 plus 5, which we were waiting on. Let's see if there's another 3 plus 3. I don't see one. This would have been one. Uh-oh. Obviously, that crushes the BTE's train. And the BTE's got harder problems to deal with. Well, the train is not the first problem, though. I'm going to be buying a 5 plus 5 train. That's going to cost me supposedly $500,000 out of pocket, but I got 3 of these that I can trade in. I still got some cash for $1 each, and then I can turn all this into 80 bucks a pile. So that's 480s is 320 of that money. So I'm not going to end up that far in debt from this. It's not optimal, but here's my big problem. And maybe I want to juggle trains. The NWB is set up with a fucking 5 plus 5 run, isn't it? The NWB is running, let's say this token's open, but if it's not, 1, this could get upgraded, I think. I'm not positive of that. I don't know if the purple allows me. Jeez. I've got to find this. Do we have the upgrades in here? I don't know where the fucking upgrades are. There's a chart with all the fucking upgrades on it, and I don't know where it is. I don't know. Here are my charts. Okay, so this one shows the purple tracks on it, and that's what I kind of want to do, is I kind of want to change, and some games allow this, some games don't. I don't remember what it was. I know what I wanted to do was to exchange a double doinker for a single doinker, but I don't remember quite where that was. I think it may have been this one over here. But whatever. If I could do that, that would be valuable. This chart, which shows where the upgrades can happen, doesn't really show them, right? So like this can't turn into this, and it doesn't have the purples on it at all. And the question is, you know, whether a double doinker can be collapsed into one. I don't remember anything that says it can, and so I think my ruling would be it can't, without something explicitly stating that. 1856 explicitly, if I recall correctly, allows for certain transitions that are kind of weird, like a doinker into a city and stuff like that. All right, let me swap batteries and I'll look some stuff up. Protecting rule seems to me tiles without revenue locations may only be promoted to tiles without revenue locations. Shit. Just dropped burning embers all over the floor. I hope they're not lighting. My foot's on top of them, so I'll feel it if they are. They must, after promotion, retain any revenue locations they had before promotion. To me, I can't turn this into one revenue location. But that's just my reading, you know. Yeah. I don't remember where I was, though. So what I was looking at was I'm running the BTE right now. But what I may want to do is buy the NWB's train. And there's a whole lot of consideration in here. Like, where do I want the privates? Is there a track lay? Is there something that I want to use my special ability on? Now, I think the BTE laid its track, but I don't fucking... No, it did not. So it may want to use one or more of these. I'm not sure. I don't think it can use more than one. The NWB... Oh, I can't get rid of this one. The NWB may want to use the larger one. And... God, I just don't know. But on the other hand, I may want the income to reduce my cost a little bit. I, of course, lose some stock value for that. So why is the NWB happy with a 5+5, and why is the BTE having trouble with one? Because if the BTE can make a 5+5 work, I'm okay. And I'm not sure it can't. I could run from here 1, 2. A little bit richer in terms of total cities here. 3, 4. See, I kind of run out there. Coming here 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm not going to be able to get the dot to protect myself. It just feels like it's going to be harder to get more than a 4+4 running on the BN. Could I do it? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. You know, maybe. I can't guarantee the dot though. But with the NWB, I have all this option down here, which if this stays open is tremendous. And that can get me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, out this way, out that way. I got all kinds of options. The NWB looks a lot better with the bigger train, and I kind of knew that. I think it's worth the train juggle. Things aren't going to get worse money-wise. Oh, yes, they're not going to get any worse. This is the last of the trains. The last of the brown Ys up here. Everybody's kind of interested in that. It's a rare piece. There's a lot more of these. I sell my private, and I move all the cash over here. Since I didn't use that private, I see no reason to use any of the other privates. Was there something, was there something over here? I can't use grays yet. I got some ooze and some of the, I actually could have cashed it in to make another Y open. I don't think I want to do that. My trains are close and running similar places. So that's the NWB. And you can see this is a chaos turn, right? Now we're up to the BN. And there are often chaos turns, but they usually don't involve so many companies, so many different choices in them. Usually it's like, maybe I want to juggle a train or something, which is what that's ended up being for him. But there are just so many different options in this game when you have multiple sized companies in your own hands. He did not. All excited about these 4+4s. They don't work. BN gets to go. Wow. It could run 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Shit. Oh, I don't know. And there's not going to be a 3 into here. So this would actually get me the same shit anyway. So the BTE fucked up, to tell you the truth. What are they going to do about it? I don't know. Their only real fuck up was building this, right? I got other paths that work. But that then means the BN is maybe going to be running through its own space. Or maybe not hitting this, right? This is just as good. But then I only hit 3 doinks instead of 4. But okay, I don't know. Or maybe I could just cut this. Hey, I could just cut that. Yeah, so this is important because the BN has enough money to build a piece of track. Okay, so if I could cut this, well, how do I do that? I do that with one of these, right? Okay, I need a minor company. Uh-oh. I have one. It could do that, but I only have 40 bucks, which is the cost I need for the token. Oh, fuck. I can sell this. So I give myself 40 bucks, pick this up. Yay. Flip this token, get myself something to replace that, and then I can sell this for 80. Which I believe I can do in time to buy the token even. Bumps that up to a nice little 24 run, leaves an opening if I want to get the BY into there. If this gets closed off, which is incredible in my opinion. This was a really good play for me. I could produce more money for a $100 token too. Yay. If so desired. And I've actually got nice track if I want to combine the BN and BY at some point. So yeah, that's pretty sweet actually across the board. I'm going to hold off on doing anything with these. They're too valuable to fuck around with as I thought. I'm able to run for 24. I see no reason to swallow that. Not going to be able to buy myself another company pretty much no matter what it... Well, I got another 200 bucks there. What would I be able to do? So 240, 440. This will cost me 500. I won't have enough anytime in the reasonable future. I'll just hold what I have. I like the run I've got. A 5+5 isn't going to make life any better for me. It'll just make things harder. I'll have to run another path through or something. That just sounds too hard. So yeah, we'll pay that out. That's the only thing that's paid out at all this operating round other than the privates. It is certainly the only thing other people have been holding, which is a pretty good sign that it's the only thing that's paid out. Everybody's just been sinking back one way or another. And that puts me to another company with a permanent train to figure out what the hell it's up to. Thing slips up to 190 run. I have enough money with this that I will be able to get a dot. But let me explain what's going on. I laid this track. This lets me start pushing out towards Prague. Right now I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 4. And hitting 3 doinkers. If I can get this, I can make Prague the 4th location, which is valuable. And, of course, I got a long way to go. But maybe somebody will be interested in helping me. Who else do I have? I have the BY, who can't really do anything for me and probably has its own problems to handle. So that may be more aspirational than anything else. What I definitely could have done is converted that into one of the UUs, which is more valuable than the UU that I'm sitting on. A purple UU is kind of nice. I'm hoping they won't all fly. This has that capability to go up to brown. There aren't a lot that have the capability to go to gray. It's hard to get the privates into the national railways. So that'll be 19, and there's people with this money, and essentially, since there's only 5 shares, it's double for each share. Puts us going into the second operating round. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. The thing I forgot. It has to do with my videos being like one set of stock and operating rounds at a time, which feels all wrong. Like, usually maybe there's one that's like that, but it's become the common for this. But they're coming out to 45 minutes, so I can't really afford to do 2. And this one may be even longer. The next one is going to be 3 operating rounds. I think it's going to be significantly easier. I might be able to step back, but I don't feel like I can step back in this game for most of these decisions. Like, so much tinkering is capable of going on. There's so much playing with the tools. And that leaves me with the, gosh, I can't tell. I find that exciting and intriguing to watch all this juggling of stuff. That's what this game is about. It's about juggling shit. But is there a depth to it beyond the juggling? Obviously there's lots of room to fuck up juggling, and there's lots of room to optimize that, and I find that exciting in and of itself. And I know some people may find that not an exciting enough part of the game, but I'm not really convinced that there isn't a fair amount of depth in that juggling beyond the sort of seeing the path through, because it is heavily impacting and impacts or impacted by the train rush and all kinds of other crap that's going on. It just feels like such a complicated ball. I can't tell you, is this a boring game? It sure the hell isn't for me right now. Compare this to like 1835, which I saw someone do. I think Clearclaw was comparing this to 1835, and I'm like, yeah, I don't get that feeling from this play, I'll tell you. And I'm not sure I ever would. I feel like there's far too much variability in which companies survive and which ones get absorbed, and way too much with what the players are doing. I have to reread his comment. But my feeling is that mechanical process of determining your best way forward from your initial stock holdings seems to him to be kind of not valuable thinking, not interesting. I'm finding it very much so. And I think this would take me at least 10 plays to get to any point where it would not be a panic situation of, how do I resolve this situation to get the trains I want where I want them, on the lines that I want built and everything. There just feels like there's so much capability to create your own railways here. Correct something. Yeah, this is an error on my part, and I don't usually correct errors like this, but this guy has 2 of these private companies that he's going to be able to buy into this company. He's not going to have a multiple of 5 left. I am going to leave $1 here after the train purchase so that whatever happens, there might be some reason I want to move that dollar. I don't see a way that that dollar is going to matter for the NWB. I could be completely wrong, but I really hate leaving a company without $1 when there's this much juggling going on. All right. I'm having trouble sleeping. Luckily, it's Sunday. But, yeah, got some news that I had to deal with. So I passed out the cash for the privates, and now I come to the PR. The PR has got a problem, one that I'm not sure how I decided to solve, because I've got a train here that will last as a permanent train, and it's probably what I want. And that 5+5 run, that doesn't look that viable. Like, it's not really set up yet. I might as well buy this in. Doing one of those kind of tricks. And now I see this thing is hosed. It's not going to get its swallow that I was hoping to get either. Now, over here, I have this, which is, for some reason, oh geez, I got 2 of those. Okay. Yeah, so I thought this one was a used up one. It's hard for me to tell what's used up and what's not. We had one used up, but it went away. This isn't my last chance to buy this out, but that could get me some additional cash, both in my company and or in my pocket. It's not a big deal to get it in my pocket. It is a big deal if I need the money for the company to buy that out. So that's something to consider there. But I do want this brown tile, and I'm going to use that. I was trying to figure out, what kind of price I need for that, which is something I couldn't really easily prefigure. But I'm going to buy that. I'm going to use that up in order to grab... We are actually on gray tiles now. This piece. And I gotta put it the other way. Shit. Track facing. We'll do that. That gets me a little bit more money running this route. Eventually I'm going to want to hook this up, but this only gets me 60. This gets me 60. It makes more sense to me to run to there. To get, I mean, if 20 plus 40, 60 is what I'm going to get here, I might as well upgrade this, especially since that's a limited commodity. Shares of the ATE I could sell for up to 135 each, which would be 405 bucks. I put that aside here, and I look here, and that's going to run me 500, 800 minus 500 is 300 bucks. I'm not going to have that. So now comes, the obvious question of pocketing money or advancing another 26 bucks a share or what. And let me see what the run is going to be and what that's going to work out as. And I'm sorry, it's hard when I'm this tired, but I could not sleep. If I'm willing to pay 85 a share for those shares, I can run the PR after selling the private presidency. And I think that's the best I can kind of do. Now, what does that mean? That means I've, lost 15 bucks a share on these ATEs, and they haven't made any money. But even though I only get half the money from the run here, I think that plus the shares from, the share value increase is a better deal. I don't really feel capable of calculating it all out. So I could be making an extra 50 bucks a share on these three. That's 150 bucks. What am I gaining here? I'm gaining 20. This would drop down to 120. So I'm gaining 38 for 5 shares of this. So, I mean, it just looks like it's better to pay out. Number's wrong. I think I'm at 100. I found another 100 bucks in here. I think I actually paid 118 and a third a share. I don't know if I can pay thirds, so I'm gonna go to the 118 a share, and that leaves $1, which is always a good idea anyway. I have piles of extra money over here. I'm not sure I really want to take a hit as in terms of not getting a run, but if I swallow with this, I don't get a run either. It's running at 25 right now with this here. I'm not going to be able to get 2 trains on it. As soon as this is purchased, it's going to kill that. I actually don't need to buy the bigger train, but the Saxon can definitely use it. So the 4E, and I cashed in another one of these, can do that. Now, I could raise money. 250 bucks in here could get me to 3, 4, 5, 600 bucks. $690, $780. I'm not quite there. On the other hand, I've got 500 bucks sitting on here. So if I just pay out, and I had to cash this in. Oh, I actually paid full price for this, so I've got an extra 100 in here. Hold on. So the question is, what the hell I do with this $500 if I don't exchange it? So I think I'm gonna go with I paid 90 bucks for this. I dropped that there, and I think I'm gonna pay out. I don't see anybody who's gonna buy that big train. Do I? I do not. And then I can buy this train for 500 bucks, which I won't get a run off of that, but that'll leave me enough money to buy that at the beginning of the next operating round. Fuck. No, will this work? Will this not? The UG goes before the train is crashed, because when this train is crashed, that will kill this. So yeah, I have to buy it. So I think this actually works out fine. I mean, it does work out fine, and it gets the bigger train on the company that I want it on, which I would get anyway. If I the question is whether or not this $500 gets used. If I swallowed, I would get 250, 5, 600. I could have not taken this 90 bucks, so make that 690. 780, 870 essentially. But I would have to swallow in that case, and it would get me less money in my pocket. So I am going to pay out. Yeah, fucked up with the Prussian. I couldn't use this to get me a gray tile. I had to use this one, so I'm just going to swap which of the privates I sold for them to do that. I bought one of these for $1 and I'm going to exchange that for 90, whatever. It actually kind of doesn't matter what I do with it. could put all the money in whatever. And that's why I'm not pulling this second one in, because I need to buy a train. The cheapest train available is this $500 one. I got enough cash to do it, so I don't have to generate and create cash. I'm holding on to this one because I want one of the two companies, I guess this one with its $1, to be able to take advantage of this special ability. This I'll never get a chance to do anything with, so if I needed to exchange something, I could do that. But actually, exchanging this doesn't even really help me. Well, actually it does. It generates $90, and it gets rid of a card that I don't want in my hand. So that's not that bad. And with that big hit all taken care of, his pile of cash went down. Now we've got like one guy with a huge pile. This guy's just built his up though. He ran the BY, which somehow has 2 trains still, because nobody bought the 8E yet. Somebody could have, but yeah, it hasn't happened yet. And they did an upgrade and flushed some materials here. I gotta be careful. This is the turn where I have to make sure that I sell all my privates. Ruh-roh. And I think I fucked that up over here already. But I didn't have enough cash to do it. So, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, if I don't sell it now, I don't get the bonus off of it. Of being able, like, I can sell it for more money to my company if my company has more money. But I might as well just hold it as a share and watch it keep going up in value. The owner of the Saxon still has one big one, but I can put that over here. This has been expended and used. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck to do about this. Because I got one more. It's a moderate size. It can go here, and I got a tiny one. And I can sell them both, but I think I actually want to sell something to the Bavarian. The BN has more reach, so I don't have any tokens here. So for $90, I'll get this little one over here. I've already exchanged the one. I can do this other one though. Okay. Who the fuck am I on now? I'm on the ugly, which also has to do that. And the point is, I'm going to be exchanging another, $40 for this one if I want to clear it out of there. That I think was taken over with these privates. I think 21 Mar or 22 Mars, which uses a similar mechanism with the privates. Further refined it in a couple of ways. One of which is, one of the big ones is, you can sell the privates back to the bank during your stock round. You get face value for them that way. And they don't go away the way they go away when you use their special ability. They don't go away the way they go away when your corporation sells it to the bank in this game. That's the important part. My head is not working at all well here. I've got to make an exchange. My brain is not working right. Okay. So for the UGG, I laid some track. I ran my train. It ran for 20 a share paying out. No problem so far. I want to buy this to get it out of my hands. It's worth 90 right now. That's 75, 85, 90. That gets that here. It'll be producing 20 bucks. I have some money left over that I've got aside. Some of that is 40 bucks for a dot that I want to hold. The rest of the money is going to buy this train, and that's 355. Why is that enough? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 here. This is going to be worth 100 bucks by the time the Saxon goes again. And I buy this non-permanent train over. Saxon's going to crash, but I'm going to be able to do what I need to do. And that gets this into my hands. I'll be able to play this with the UGG, which I think really kind of wants it. And we're done. What I'd like to do eventually is head this way, I think. Because this is only worth 50, this will be worth 80. So that'll be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can hit a doinker on the way. But I don't see any real... yeah, because I can't come back up this way. So I don't see anything that's going to help me. I mean, maybe I can shoot into here and down. That would probably be the best. Alrighty, that puts me on the KK. Looking for a way around this. Well, I've got one. I could buy this. No, I don't have that kind of cash. Okay, so the KK, first of all, has two big trains, a 6E and a 4E. And right now, this is run 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can actually hit 5 here, get an extra 10 bucks. Okay. That's not going to last, so let's worry about the 6E that I'm going to have next run. I'm going to make a decent run this time, and I'll figure that out in a moment. The 6E can run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now. But wouldn't it be cool if I could hit here? Well, yeah, but I need 10 bucks to hook this up. I don't have 10 bucks. I don't have a private that I can put in their hands to lay to get me the, hey, don't have to pay the river crossing cost. Even a tiny one would do. I don't have the cash to buy one from someone else if they were willing to sell me such a piece of garbage. Nobody's willing to just let me dump it for 5. Well, actually maybe. So, is there a big one kicking around? Because it would be possible that, like, this guy is sitting on a share that sucks. I don't think it's worth 5 bucks, but I would certainly probably give, you know, some good portion of that 90 the listen to. 5 does not sound like a good deal at all, you know, especially since my money got trimmed down. I'm not going to have as many shares to buy. So yeah, I think the KK, I don't know what the hell I'm going to build it in that case. Given that I don't have a card, I can't upgrade anything to purple. I would love to turn this into a gray. I think the only one is gone. So the only thing I have to do is to upgrade Prague. There's one other thing I could do. I could put the tight curve in here. That's this piece. And yeah, that's not gonna do it. I'm worried that with these different looking pieces, I did not run the OFE last round, because I come down here and all of these are smooth over. OFE almost certainly didn't run this time. It's been sitting on that permanent 4 train for a long time. Why is this way and not this way? And you can tell by the dishing. So, you know, these things look kind of like those. And I'm just going to sit it at 90. This guy's already in the lead, it looks like. But he could well be $10 and whatever his run is, which is probably about 150, which is going to be 113. So he could well be about $140 that he's losing here. Or maybe I'm running it again, but I don't see how that could possibly be the case. Like every other decision in this game, the BN ends up being painful. What I discussed with the OFE, that isn't in play yet because that's behind the BN. So the BN ends up making a run, paying out. Its run, though, is 31 a share, which is pretty much what it's stuck at. Now, the problem with 31 a share is this little card doesn't go to 31, but it didn't need to, did it? I fucked up. Oops. Juggle the type of company. It's just causing these brain misfires. So anyway, I reversed the money that I gave out, which was as though this was 75% and that was 25%. And instead what I've got actually is double value. So instead of 31 a share, it's actually 62 a share because the shares are 20%. And this guy has the additional one. Yeah. And I already told you, I think I bought this. It wasn't for full value. It was for like $40, maybe less. But it allowed me to do the upgrade here and to get rid of this certificate, which I'm not going to get another chance to get rid of. Yeah, it's going to gain $30, but the other bonus is I can exchange this on the first operating round for $100, which allows me to buy a token. That's not that big a deal. I don't have a place for a token that I need, and I gotta be careful that I don't screw up my other company. But maybe I can fuck with somebody else's life, like the poor UG down here. Although what I'd really like to screw with is who has piles of money? He does, and that's not gonna be easy. With the OFE is I'm running a 4 train. That's all I have. It's fine. I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. There are brown tiles I can use. I can't upgrade to the UUs. I don't have the kind of power that gets me to them because I can't buy this into there. The Prussian could. But the Prussian couldn't have gotten here. But yeah. But yeah, that was a fuck up not getting that private into there. But again. I'd like to get to here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe that's my best move right now. The question there is, I'm getting an 80 instead of a 90, but I'm getting another location. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm actually getting 110 instead of a 90. So yeah, if I upgrade this, that's cool. That does me some goodness. I'm not going to have... I do have the money to drop a dot. Do I want to drop a dot? I think I do. Because this is going to go away. The Prussian's going to be running a 6, which is not going to be pleasant. Holy shit. Life turned ugly. So the Prussian could maybe run 1, 2, 3. Up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be my ultimate, but I don't have the money to lay that kind of track. Now I can lay one of those tracks by blowing that. Late, yeah. So I don't know what the hell the Prussian is going to do. But it doesn't particularly want to own the OFE. And, I mean, sure, this isn't too bad. But if I'm running out of here, 1, 2, 3... I don't know what the hell to do from there. Brown City could get me there, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? So I feel like I got to come down this way. Again, I have the possibility to get through that space, but that doesn't get me here, and that doesn't get me there, and I don't know what the Prussian's going to do. It's got too much train. Oh, fuck. But yeah, what I was looking at was something. What I was looking at was upgrading this so that I can get into here, and that'll make me a little more money. But I've got a longer term possibility, which is to upgrade, let's see, 1, 2, 3. That's not it. That did not do it. You know what it was. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, which might be my best eventual, but I think I'm gonna go for this first. TE's next. I paid $1 to pick this up, and I only had $1 and put that into here. Now I could cash this thing up and upgrade this. I could cash this thing in to get enough money. No, is this a big one? Yeah, this is a big one. I can't touch that. I'm stuck with that. Okay, so stop thinking about that. That allowed me to set up a 32 run. Now, I don't have enough money in hand right now to buy a $100 token, but I will. But I'm not sure I want to put the token here, which clearly is the place the BTE wants a token, because the NWB is using that same track. And who else could token that is really the question. Saxon has no tokens, and it looks like no one else has money. But that's kind of not true. So the Prussian could buy this for $1, which it should have done already, and come up with another token. Well, the Prussian's already there, so I'm not worried about that one. And the KFN could definitely play a token there because it can sell this. It does not reach yet, but it probably will. And that would be a really dicky move because there's no way the KK is up there. So I may have to cut one of my railroads to make the other one work. Luckily, I built this so I can put a curve in there for $40 that I don't have. Get some great sunrises. If today wasn't a Sunday, I'd be really worried because just got my, hey, it's time to wake up alarm go off. Fortunately for the BTE NWB owner, KFN has a better use for its tile, but here's the problem. I just upgraded this and I don't think I want to. I get an extra $10 with this upgrade, and I'm not sure what I had. I think I had this. That looks right. Because I want to use this card before I bonus it. So what I'm looking at for a run, this is a slightly better run. It gets, well, it got me 21. 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21. Okay. But if I'm doing that run, I probably want to use one of the brown bonus tracks. Now, maybe I want to upgrade the UU that I'm not using yet. Will I be able to use that? I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2. Could come down this way. 3. I'm not going to really be able to get there. So fuck the UU. Which I think means that I want to upgrade the thing that I am using, which is this. And that should get me to 22 anyway. The reason I needed to do that now is I want to turn this in for 90 bucks. $115 and put a dot here. Now let me make sure about that. The KK doesn't need that shit. The KK doesn't get around over there. Great. Okay, so now I've closed this off, which I find particularly important. And wow, there are a lot of KFN tokens all over for a company with no train and very little. It's got a decent revenue, but you know, everything else is catching up. We did not pay out yet, but we will. And after that, this hits here. This kills a bunch of stuff. First of all, the 5+5 is out. We already had that out, right? Yeah. The 5 train. I don't think we've got one out, but I think all of our reds are permanent. All one of them. Everything else got eaten. Which means the only thing that happens of any importance is the 8E. Now, I don't know if I should discard this or not. I don't think there's an infinite number of these, which, if there's not an infinite number of the last train type, it is possible that like the game could get fucked up. But that 8E means all go away, which is kind of cool because now no more 2 train runs. This guy's got enough cash, he can buy an 80, and I think we're in the end game of this sequence. I am going to load this one up. This has been exceedingly painful, and I hope I'm going to get some fucking sleep this morning, but I don't know. Shit's on my mind.